Hello everyone, welcome to The Honest Wargamer. I'm your host Rob. Welcome to Stream Street Day. Who knows? Who knows at this point? Nearly 500. Today, Scott B, what up? Today I'm going to be looking at some new 3D designs that are going to be available from different 3D sculptors at the end of this month. So these are Patreons that I'm signed up to, so they're not in any way sponsored or anything like that. So if you are listening to the podcast and you're one of the Hydro homies, maybe you're going to want to jump over to YouTube, enjoy the YouTube thugs, and watch it along there, because it's some pretty sweet-ass designs. So what's going on? Halolex. But before I do that, I want to shout out my guys in the chat, my ladies in the chat, Halolex, Scott B, T-Man Cash, Gabawaki, Arcane Law, Pino, Big Daddy Al, Skinny Boots, thanks for resubscribing, Pete Pratt, Wololo, Hey Colonel Cabbage, legitimate YouTube thug convert, yes Big Daddy Al, thanks. Listen, there's no disrespect to the YouTube thugs. I hear what you're about. I get it. I'm still streaming from the bar computer while we while we try and get a new computer. That's going to be one of those things. Also, one of the things that I might do a review on soon is I got my Hagglethorn Hollow Kickstarter 3 years later, which was a gift from one of our benefactors, or one of the people who helps show out, 3 years ago, I think, for our first birthday, for the Honest Wargamer's first birthday. So it's right there in the background. You can see it, Hagglethorn Hollow. It's really good, looks-wise, at a distance. But a couple of things. It comes painted. And thanks to Skinny Boots donating £21 and 83p to the show. Yes! Get us to 669. Thanks, man. Big love to you. Hey, Rick and Smith, what's going on? So it seems to be made out of the same material that you would make. So the guys downstairs, who, as I've told you before, they're like sculptors and designers, and they also have like a manufacturing plant. They think that it's made out of resin, so it's the same sort of stuff you would maybe get for like aquarium things. I'm not very confident. It won't break. So there's that. It comes pre-painted, which is pretty baller. Which is nice. I don't know how I feel about it. We'll talk about it more. But yeah, they're not. I would say they look really great, but I would never take it to. It's heavy as fuck. You're never taking that anywhere with you. Was it very costly, T-Man Cash? I can't remember, to be honest, what the Kickstarter was, but it was a very generous gift. So several £100s, I think. And it was awesome, and it's awesome. It'll be awesome for here, but it's not awesome for taking away anywhere. And I would like to repaint parts of it. But that's kind of my quick fire review. But it looks great, and I'm really happy with it about how it looks. But I guess it's just super worth protecting T-Man Cash. Hopefully we'll do some battle reports on it. Maybe a month, maybe more. We'll start doing some battle reports, and we'll do some battle reports in Hagglethorn Hollow. And then I could just wear some spandex and pretend to be the Goblin King. That's what I'm going to do. All right, big shout out to everyone. Thanks to everyone on Patreon and all the other jazz. You're all incredible. I was up till 2:30 last night doing some painting for the 40k tournament I've got coming up, so I'm still working on this stuff here. This is actually designed by our designer in the chat, Shadow Sun. So I don't know if he's in there to see and see what he thinks. This is some Eldar terrain I'm painting up. There's actually some more Eldar terrain over here, just over in the corner for you guys. There's loads. Oh man, Flandalf. Thanks for donating 50 quid to the show, Flandalf. That's fucking nuts. Thanks, man. Damn. Ooh, thanks. That's so much. We'll tip for that. In fact, I'll show you the other bits really quick. It's a bit of a stretch. But there you go. So this is actually, we're going to look at this designer in a moment. So this is Sakuras Mundus design, but then this is Shadow Sun's design. And what's awesome about it, I don't think that looks any different, yeah? Nice to see with the gradients, yeah. So I think that looks pretty awesome for terrain. Obviously, that's going to be a big L-shaped bit of terrain, and there's another L, but they're from different designers. So that's, I guess, one of the fun parts about it. I haven't got any more to show you at the moment. Anyway, I'll show some other bits another time. They look great for 40k. Thanks very much. I'm just trying to make it. Do you guys want this? I'll quickly go grab another one. I'll grab another 2 bits. One sec. So a couple of other bits. So this is from our Tyrannid board. If you guys can see this. So there you go. That's our Tyrannid piece, which I think looks pretty bad. Also, yes, happy Midsummer's Day to everyone over in Sweden, or maybe all the Nordic countries. I don't know where Midsummer's celebrated, but big shout out to you. So that's cool. That's really fun. This is just some straight up regular crystals stuck to some classic MDF there with some sand. So more of a classic piece, but they've been printed off. And then same thing, but I printed a Catan to go in between. I don't know if you guys can see that. So that's a piece of terrain which we have, which I think is pretty awesome. I don't know if that's picked up very well. But yeah, like there you go. Like it's like we've trapped him inside, so that's going to be that's not going to be ruins. I can't remember what that's going to be. I think that's going to be basically crates or impossible, basically. But I think that looks pretty badass, right? Anyway, let's get on and look at some other designers. So all of these things, what's awesome about all of this is all of this has been 3D printed, and so because of that, like we've got like a very unique kind of, I would say, a very unique set of terrain that no one else really has, which is cool and something I'm very excited about for the future. So more of that. So let's go look at some other designs that you can go and have if you have some 3D printers, because there's some cool ones. So I'm doing this from one computer, so I might fuck this up. So you have to apologize. I'll have to apologize if I do fuck it up. So this is our man in the chat, Alkanaut. So this is one of the guys that watches the show, which is super cool. He has a Patreon that he started like 6 months ago, and he's been making some super awesome stuff. Obviously, like some Seraphon alternates here, especially with like Seraphon being a super good army. You could 100% see doing some of these. I think one of the key points is I've always thought the Stegodon was really small, and he has made a very non-small Stegodon variant, which is a bit more little-footy, which I think looks pretty baller, to be honest. Yeah. Yes, dinos all day. And Warhammer Rob, who's in the chat, big love to him. He's currently printing this out right now. And I was so excited because Rob's an awesome dude. Alkanaut's an awesome dude. So it's Jeremy, I think is his first name. And it's so fun seeing someone who I know printing someone else's stuff, like, and it feels way more like a hobby. Like, you know, like some guy's paying someone for their art, someone's printing that out. I just think it looks, I just think that's wicked. I think that's so fun. So let's just go and get this. Okay, so let's look at these things in detail. So here's some other little bits that he's got. He's got like a smash bat here. He's got like, I really like this. He's really lent into the Necron theme of the Saurus, which they kind of have. I don't know if anyone knows this, but some of the Seraphon stuff has got some very Necron-esque elements to it. And that's really because the background, if you're new to Age of Sigmar, the background is that the old ones, gave the technology, created the Seraphon race, and it's alluded to that those are probably Necrons. I'm pretty certain that's the story. By the way, my Games Workshop Spy says full Seraphon refresh late this year. 100% could see that. So you could get on the ground floor in this one by getting yourself some of your own Seraphon. At least starting your own like designs, right? And then there's a lovely Smashbat / Vargulf in the back, which is something I really want to print sometime soon. So here's some Camo Skinks, and I absolutely love these. I think that these are so good. Again, look at the weapon choices. So he's lent into that kind of like, because also in Age of Sigmar, the Seraphon are also in a ziggurat in space. So he's just like lent into that. So yes, they're chameleons, but yes, they've got this kind of 40k vibe in the weapon options. And I actually really like that design choice. I think that that's better than the kind of like jungle themed old Seraphon. And you see that in Skink Priest. I'm 100% going to be printing out this guy for a Skink Priest for my own army. I think he looks amazing. Like, really love that. Love the pointy finger as well. That's so class. And there's like a little skink squad. So if you wanted to build yourself, bolt spitters in here, he's got like all of the command options, even though I don't think they have command options anymore. But just looks really good. And that's the whole set. So that's just 1 month from Clay Beast Creation. And I really like that. I think it's wicked. Some nice little additions to a Seraphon army if you wanted it to be so. I think that's really good. I don't know what you guys think. Link for these. Yes, if you just... These are just... I'm going to put the name in the chat and I'll include them. Clay Beast Creation. I should do that. That should be the right way. T-Man Cash, thanks. What's the name of this Patreon? Clay Beast Creation is who it is. So there you go. So that's Clay Beast Creation. Next up. Oh, God, hold on, I'm just jumping between those screens. Is you guys? I'm gonna let you guys decide. Do you want to see more minis or do you want to see some terrain? More minis or terrain? What's your choice? What's your choice, Twitch chat? You're the first people. You get to decide. Terrain. Okay. All right, Bonnie and Manchild. Now, there aren't as many terrain designers as there are miniatures designers, which I think that makes sense. So this is Sakuras Mundus, and this is the stuff he's done this week. So it's kind of saved my bacon. So if you guys look at that top right-hand piece, it might be a bit small, so I'll kind of cycle through now. So this piece, actually, that's on the screen now, I've just printed this out for the tournament this weekend, which is nuts. I think it was released on Wednesday, and I have it as terrain for this weekend. It's crazy. And the quality is outrageous. This is 100% my favorite terrain that I've printed to date. I think it's brilliant. I think and it's also he's also doing L's, right? It's an L. It's a classic L shape. But it's got all the things that we want it from. And this is a 2-story L, and then he also has done a 3-story L. So I think that this is wicked. It's a shame he hasn't got the front piece. Oh, there we go. You can kind of see the front. And that's how it prints out. And I really like these slots that they have at the corner. So you could put some JB Weld in there. So JB Weld, either super glue or JB Weld. JB Weld is probably my suggestion for anyone who's making terrain at home. It's a little bit more expensive, but it literally sets like concrete. So that'll be that's really perfect. If you really want to, you can drill a couple of holes as well, so that it embeds itself in. So that's a really nice thing. Here's another. This is a 3-story ruin, which I think looks mint. And if you were a super good painter, you could go crazy on this terrain. Crazy good. And I think that's awesome. Love that. And there it is separated out again into all the different bits that you would print out. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 print runs. If anyone wants any sort of indication for how long it takes to print, this L shape, this 2-story L shape, takes about 30 hours to print fully. So one piece, about 30 hours. That was printed at a quality of 1.2. Now, if anyone, how long does it take to print? Yeah, about 30 hours. So, and 1.2 is probably pretty good quality. If you were trying for super serious high-end quality, you'd probably go for 0.8. So what that means is the layer height. So when you 3D print with an FDM printer or a plastic printer, what it does is it just builds up lines 1, 2, 3, it just builds them up, but just like you've seen with a 3D printer, right? Just in lines, right? So you can just dictate how thin those lines are going to be, and obviously the smaller you make them, the more detailed it is, but unfortunately the longer it takes. So yeah, that's really good. JB Weld is like that 2-part epoxy born again manchild. Yeah, JB Weld is super good. If you're building Forge World stuff or resin stuff, and if you can be asked to take the time, because obviously it's not as quick as some activator and some super glue, JB Weld is 100% the choice that I would make if I were you guys, because it's gonna make your stuff set like stone. It's more likely that the resin will break or the plastic piece will break than the JB Weld will break. So that's my advice if anyone's interested, and I'm pretty certain you can get that all across the world. I'm not sure. If anyone is in the chat somewhere not in England and wants to let me know, that would be 11 out of 10. Right, okay. Next up. Oh, let me just go check this out. So this is the 3-story stuff. Love this stuff. Look at this impending piece. Now, I wouldn't have printed this 2 months ago. But actually, I think that this could be a good 40k piece of terrain. The issue, for you guys at home and for me, is that it doesn't really necessarily fit into any battlefield kind of shapes that you generally see. But with the Games Workshop pack that they've released, they've got some C shapes, and I guess you could kind of say this is a C shape. This really doesn't achieve tons as a piece of terrain in 40k, but it's just awesome. So, and that's the kind of problem that you kind of run around, what is it meant to be? And it just being there isn't useful enough, and it's massive, absolutely massive. This would take 3 or 4 days to print probably. So yeah, it wouldn't really be effective in game. Looks cool though, but it will affect the game. But what if you make a mistake with the world? So Lekka69 in the chat, that's Nathan Prescott if anyone wants to remember. So if anyone knows, just a quick one on the JB Weld stuff. If you are going to JB Weld something like a Forge World Warlord Titan, which I did, and you JB Weld it, Probably don't stick the leg on backwards. Otherwise, you have to have someone like Nathan come across to your house and saw the knee in half and turn it around. So that's what Nathan's referring to. The dick. Zip Zap Rat. Why does this not affect the game? Okay, well, so it depends on what. Yeah, big oof. Thanks, chat. Love you all. It depends on what keywords you're giving it. But ultimately, what you're really trying to achieve, in my opinion, in 40k, and actually, I'm really excited about the tournament. So we're holding 2 40k tournaments this weekend, a singles event and a teams event. The thing I'm most excited about is getting feedback about the terrain themselves. So I've aimed for like 12 pieces on a board, which I think should be plenty. But I had Nick over the other day doing some like practice games with James Workshop team, and they said that they felt like it was enough. Whether or not it is going to be enough, or it's too much, or you need to choose. You need at least, in my opinion, 4 to 8, probably 8 is probably the standard. 8 line of sight blocking pieces of terrain. Yeah, and so that really means something like this, right? So this kind of L shape, right? Or you need something that's a forest or a crate. So that's what this is going to represent here, right? Effectively, this is going to be a crate. That is a huge piece that doesn't block line of sight and takes up the space of the things that would block line of sight. So normally you've got your 8 line of sight blocking pieces of terrain, and then you've got your 4 other pieces, 4 forests, 4 sets of crates, 4 grates, any of those things. So that's kind of, so again, here's a forest. So just a bunch of crystals, that's a forest. But it just means that it's difficult terrain and it's -1 to shoot through. So that's what you're looking for. Nogal Matthew, I've seen 8-ish is light, 11-ish is middle, 13-ish is heavy. So yeah, like 12 is kind of where I'm at with the number at the moment. But feedback from the tournament this weekend, I think that's going to be the most interesting thing. I'm going to actually do a show on next week. I'm going to take a bunch of pictures of the boards. I'm going to get loads of feedback from the people who play. And then we're going to kind of like run it back, and then maybe, and what's really nice is all we have to do is either print some more of that type of terrain from that board, or just take some away, one of those two, or print some different types of terrain. So really looking forward to that. But I hope that answers your question. Not sure I like terrain rules that discourage cool terrain purely because the game's mechanics require specific terrain types. T-Man Cash is actually in reference, like Tom Layton makes a really good point all the time. He's like, imagine a game being so scuffed that you need terrain, but 40k 40k really desperately needs terrain rules, and it needs you to be sensible about it to make good boards for people to play. Hey Shadowstone, yeah man, I'm gonna drop you a message. Your stuff's so good, dude. Right, okay, next set. So this is all the Necron stuff. Oh no, clicked off it. Classic. So there we go. And that's how it breaks apart. I mean, that's huge. This piece is huge. I'd just like everyone to know. Huge piece of terrain. That would take a long time to print. There's some scatter terrain, which is quite nice. Something I might add at some point. You got some really nice tower pieces there, which are, again, really good. These obelisks are really fun. Really like that. It's a good vibe. And then you get some bases with it, which is cool. So if you collect Necrons, you just have a bunch of bases that you could also print, which I think is just a nice throw-in, but you can theme it, which is cool. Okay, let's go for some models next. So that's Sakuras Mundus. Sakuras Mundus. These guys. Swamp Invasion from Print Your Monsters. Print Your Monsters, by the way, quickly becoming one of my favorite designers because they're super fucking weird. Like, they don't give any fucks what they're printing out, which I think is fun. And I'm going to add some of this to my Swamp Boggler army. So look at this. First off, straight from the desiccated swamp is this alligator with his little support thing on top. I think this is really good. Pete Pratt says, and I think it's a good point, a lot of people treat terrain as a board decoration when it really should be an integral part of the game. Massive agree. Yeah. At least it isn't AOS terrain. Yeah. I mean, I think we did good with the terrain at the weekend, I'd like everyone to know. Like the impassable and the obscurant stuff, people had a good time. But again, I'm going to get some feedback from that in the future. So this guy's great. Look at this. Look at this weird, and he's got like this little bench thing. He's cool. Look, they haven't really even made an attempt to paint him, right? Like, he's just some different shades of green. So you could definitely do a better paint job on him. Look at that, all the skulls in the mouth. That's awesome. You could do like a really cool, like, swampy vampire army. He could be like your, instead of being a zombie dragon, you could have a zombie crocodile. That's fucking rad. And then he's got the little platform. Right, these guys. I'm in. Instead of skinks, I'm in. What the hell? Tell me you know what, these little fucking dudes, they look great. These guys are so good. They've got so much character to them. I love them. I think their bows are probably a bit big, like they're a bit comical, but I quite like it. They've got like a Clash of Clans vibe going on. But love this. I love the paint scheme as well. This black with red might be something I try and do with some models in the future. And then look at these little swamp fellas fighting the fight. I love the... Oh, is it still there? I love these guys. What do you guys think? I'm just going to get some water. You wouldn't call a dog a fucking cat. What's Morgan saying? Dude, that's a crocodile. I'm sorry. I don't come from a region where the difference between an alligator and a crocodile comes up. Like, I don't know what the fucking difference is, if anyone knows. Borninger Manchild, too weird for my liking. But whatever floats your boggler. You got it, Borninger Manchild. These float my boggler. Given all those mushrooms different colours, would be sick, says Woidoy. Yeah, man. Big Ark World vibe, says Diadrin. Yeah, definitely. Cart Buffalo, I always love this show. Me too. This is comfortably one of my favourite shows we do every month. So good, right? I might try and turn it into like a more pro thing in the future. I don't know. Like, I like this way of doing it though. But anyway, it's great. I might just sign up some more Patreons just so we've got more shit to look at. Some of them though are a bit scuffed. So anyway, looks awesome. Love this guy. Look at the little hammer guy. Love this. It kind of reminds me of. Do you want to play Abe's Odyssey? It's got like big Abe's Odyssey vibe. Love that. This is so good. This is so good. If you wanted to make a sweet ass plague drone, you could do this instead, right? This is cool. A little plague drone with like a little weird plague dude on top. That would be so cool. That's wicked. Love that. There's a little plague drone again. And I don't know what this is. Is it a snake? Ish snake? It's like a little woodland snake. I don't know what I would use that for at all. I think that looks wicked. I don't know what I'd use it for. Maybe use it for my swamp bogglers in some way. I'm not sure. I'm just obviously very into the swampy stuff at the moment because I just think it's great. But anyway, awesome set by Print Your Monsters. And I love their stuff. I just think that they're the guys that did the pumpkin stuff before. Yeah, they are chill, right? Yeah, this is fun. No need to change the format. It's my favourite way it is. Thanks, Cart Buffalo. It's for the DOK. It's a magic thing of theirs. Hexnet. Yeah, you could use it as that instead. 100%. I don't know if it fits in with the theme of the Daughters of Cain. Like, I need a big dragon. Hook me up. A big dragon. Ooh, okay. We could do a show where we just go through all of my mini factory for 8 to 9 hours. If you guys want, because I'm in. Let's do it. 8 to 9 hours. Once I've not got any more painting to do, let's all of us just be like, right, let's look at every design ever. Right, next up, let's look at Titanforge. So this is this month's stuff coming from Titanforge, and it ties in really nicely with if you're collecting Lumineth, or if you want to print yourself something like Lumineth, but you haven't got the money to buy them, because they've got some great options here. So first off, this giant bird/phoenix that you could do here, especially if you wanted to do. This is awesome. It's really nice. It's got a really nice theme. You could use that. I like how it like ties in with the basing if you wanted to just print the basing as well. I think this is really nice. It's one of those like standalone models. I'm not sure I would necessarily use it. I think it's really nice. It doesn't do much for me. So do most tournaments not give a shit if you use other models for Games Workshop units? Says Slippy Tiger. So for me, it would have to be something like, obviously as a TO here, you have to have something that looks like or is trying to be the thing that you're going for. Is the easiest option, right? This would work as maybe a Flamespire Phoenix. If you want of Anointed of Assyrian, you need to find some way of sticking an elf on there that doesn't look stupid, right? or maybe it's on the base or something like that. You know, you could stick a bait like an anointed of Assyrian right in the middle, and then super fly with me. That would work great. Like Games Workshop tournaments, and I'm sure some like Games Workshop co-opted tournaments. Is that the fair way to say it? Will make it so that you can't use 3D printed minis. But I personally think using 3D printed minis is fucking rad. Also, Dajin, good shout. That could be some awesome terrain. Yes. Oh, that would be awesome to print out and try and do like a Phoenician board for Cities of Sigmar. I really want to do. I'm obsessed with terrain, obviously now. Like I've gone past the point where I hate it, and now I'm just obsessed with it. I don't want to paint all of it every week, all day, but I want to do a Phoenician board. I kind of want to do a board for each city of Sigmar. I think that would be rad. Games Workshop partnership tournaments, that's the one. Yeah, so you won't be allowed them there, but you'll be allowed them here in any tournaments I run, as long as you don't take the piss. Like, I think that's the key point. Just don't take the piss and you'll be good. So, I mean, people who get pissy with you are just weird. Like, it's not the exact model. So there we go. This is cool. I like this. This is like a bit old school. This high elf on a big... I'm going to call it a crow just to piss Morgan off. On this crow. Dude, what the fuck? That's clearly an eagle. Although me and Morgan have actually been to a large predatory bird show together in Australia, so that's a weird bit of knowledge for you that doesn't need to come up. Anyway, that's rad. I don't know what the fuck I'd use it as, but I think it looks rad. So this is what Titanforge do best, I think, is they do miniatures like this. So what we're looking at now, where you can change the weapon options. So immediately you look at this and you think, cool, I could use these as Lumineth Blade Lords. 100% could use those as Blade Lords if you wanted to. Ignore that eagle for a sec. Oh, wait. Fuck. Okay. All right. Well, sorry. He could be a Lore Seeker, this guy, because he's clearly meant to be a character. So there's a Lore Seeker for you right there. Bosh. He's got all the things a Lore Seeker's needs. There's just a random eagle. Here you've got a Cathalar, if you wanted a Cathalar. Some random, like, Lady Mage. She just looks awesome. Whatever you want to use her as. Something in Cities of Sigmar, something not. She just looks mint. No idea what the fuck this lady is doing. This is a whirlwinding backwards. She could easily be like a wind mage, though. Like, you could comfortably use her as a wind mage. As soon as I see this stuff, I think, obviously, I'm going to do a Lumineth army off the top of it. I used to think it was a special as a kid. Always got to pick out Eagle's Blade. Oh, Tidecaster. Oh, you could use it as a Tidecaster. That's a good shout. Don't take... Live pro tip in general, don't take the piss. I agree. Right, next up is... Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. A teleporting upside-down lady. This is just a sweet-ass elf with a lion helm, so very old-school Warhammer Fantasy Battles kind of like elf with the lion stuff. Maybe they'll release some stuff like that, which is cool. A bit of a character. I'm not really sure what you'd use him as. You could use him as the Light of Altharion instead of Altharion, especially with this cool cat. That would be fun. That'd be wicked. Here you see like a ninja elf character, so like an assassin type, which is cool. I like that his eyes are completely covered and he's just using like his inner mindscape. That one's really fun. I like that a lot. Here's the big banner, if you wanted to run the banner from whatever it's called. And they've got like a bit sharp, the like much more deadly, you know, almost dark elfish in the armor plates and the helm, and also the curved cutlass, the cuirass there. And I love the banner. I think the little eagle heads, although the eagle heads are fairly confusing, right? It's interesting that they went for eagles, but okay. And then you've got look at this, some Reindeer Riders. So if you wanted to make yourself some cavalry, there you go. You've got some Reindeer Riders with these really big shields. I actually really like the big shields. I think that they're very odd, but they stand out and they'd be super fun to paint. Yeah, I love that. These are super fun. Love this a lot. Look at this. This is cool. Not sure on the head. I think the head's a bit over the top, but I love the antlers. And if I wasn't scared of painting horses, this would be on my list of things, I think. And then this is what Titanforge do well. They do bricks. They do multi-part kits, so you can build yourself like these units. So there you go. There's some cheap wardens that you can get yourself. Different style of wardens. They've got awesome big armor shields that they put the spears through, which I think great. There you got yourself some sentinels. So they've got the bows. They've got their elves. They fitted the theme perfectly. They're everything you could want. There's an axe variant if you want to just build one just cause. But there you go. There's your sentinels with their big shields and big spears. More classic. I think that looks great. Look at that. That looks fucking wicked, in my opinion. I haven't looked at the chat in a while. What do you think? Do the shields reduce your movement? Who knows? The banner is backwards. That's it, Knigget. Thank you for pointing that out. Some of these dudes are really cool. They are. Do they have sandals? Oh my god, great question. No, they've got. No, they haven't got sandals. They've got armored feet. Yeah, armored feet. I think. Imagine sculpting toes. You'd be so pissed at some point. You'd be like, oh, how many toes have I got to sculpt today? That's not the fun bit, right? You want to sculpt the weapons. You want to sculpt the armor. There's no one who's like, another day of sculpting toes today. Can't wait. Dumb rookie question. These guys aren't all one-piece printing. No, they're not. Let me just go and show you. So there's a set. So there you go. So what you have is you've got two different riders, two different ponies, as you can see. And then you've got, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I think you have 6 body options for the guys on foot, effectively. I think the 2 bottom ones might be hero variants. You've got like 2 lady sculpts, and you've got like 3 male sculpts. You've got a variety of heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 heads. And then you've got those long shields that we saw earlier with 2 other variants of shields. Instead of taking long spears, there's also like a long axe option, which I fucking love. I'd love to do a unit of wardens with a long spear and then a unit of wardens with the big axes. They have spears that go on either hand if you want to do that, which I think is super cool. You can also just mirror, like when you're 3D printing, you could just mirror the arms so that they're on the other side anyway. So if you wanted the flag to be on the other side, you could just mirror it and it would. They have all the options for the different like close combat weapons. And again, this is one of those massively important things. I think Titanforge, they're one of the most successful designers for 3D printing. And I think it's because of this. If you look on their arms at the joints, they're just all ball joints. So they're ball joints, and then all of the weapon options just slot in there. And I built these. They're super easy to do. They're really good. And it just gives you so much in the way of sculpting options for how you want the spears to be, how you want it. And it's not overly complicated. It's not trying to like fit 2 bits together that don't really work. It's very, very good. Like, I really wish Games Workshop would just take some cues from this. Like, I know that they don't because whatever the process, but I think ball joints on the arms are just so good. Like, I really do love it. It's really good. You can print them off different sizes too, right? So you can make them 1 millimeter bigger than everyone else just for that BSD energy. You could, yeah. Yeah, and each option you're looking at can be mirrored, like Daedrin says. So basically, it's double the options that you're looking at. So just really good. Really awesome. And then just a sweet-ass piece of terrain that to come with it as well for a bit of theme, if you want to like theme your piece, or if you want to put everyone on there in a diorama. Honestly, it's got to be one of the best like patrons. I haven't liked some of the stuff they've done recently. It's been a bit blocky, but I think that they've nailed it this time around. I think there's some very, very good options. And I think that there's some amazing sculpts. The thing is like, obviously I'm a tournament gamer, so when I look at it, I'm like, I want to build an army. I don't know how you're a painter at this stage and you don't have a 3D printer. I don't know how you're someone who's like, my hobby is painting models, and then you don't have a printer. Like, it's just insane to me. You're printing off like in Games Workshop terms, because that's kind of the benchmark, right? You could be printing off like characters that would cost you £30-40 from Games Workshop, or £80 or £90 like Kragnos, and it's going to cost you like, I don't know, £2 to print off a character for, I mean, obviously you got to buy the printer, but like, I don't know, print off 10 characters, you've made your money back, let's say. And you can just paint all that. And, you know, if you fuck it up, none of this, how do I strip paint? Just throw it in the fucking sea. No, don't throw it in the sea. Don't litter. Don't litter. Give it to a child. Give it to a small child. Dark Design, my hobby is printing models, and I don't have a printer because I already have 20 years of backlog. Sorry, mate. Literally don't have any space left at home, says Gabwalkie. All right, man. I'm sorry about that. Guys, can anyone recommend a Thunder Tusk alternative that's 3D printed? A Thunder Tusk alternative? Oh. Ooh. I feel like at some point I'm going to be like a wise man. Where someone's like, hey, Rob, I want a 3D version of this. I'm like, yes. Let me guide you, young fellow traveller, to the dark places. I can't think of one, Lee. I'd have to go and look. But just take a trip down my mini factory. That'd be fun. I got just focus on single model for. So they were saying what everyone in the chat is saying. Kill Panic Sai, I'm going to get a 3D printer, aren't I? Yes, you are. Do they single pose robed goblins like Skull Pass? Do they? Do they? I don't know. They should do though. Right. So I mean, that's awesome, right? So then we've only got one left. These guys. Okay. Okay. So can you guys see this? Oh god, I've got an alt tab now. How the fuck do I do? Okay, can you guys see this? Right, okay, it's on the screen. You guys can see. All right, let's get back to it. So this is Artisan Guild. So they're very similar to Titanforge. Same thing. You can print an army's worth of stuff from them, like they normally have it. So like we saw before with the ball joints and all those other things. They are more cartoonish. They've got like a Warcraft vibe going on, as you guys can see here. And then this is, oh god, how do I get rid of the? I don't think I can get rid of the YouTube overlay. Sorry, I don't know. Come on, go away. That's not going to go away. Right, okay. Will it pause? There we go. Oh, it doesn't stop. Sorry. Well, so they've got this this woodkeeper. So obviously like wood elf, but they've kind of moved into like very like I don't know what the right term is. Is it like drow? Whatever this is. Like they've got like Centaur-esque horns, basically. And they got some cool models. So the first one is this. So they've got a Centaur guy, a couple of Centaurs if you want to do some Beast of Chaos Centaurs there, and then this big central character, which I think is really awesome. Right, there we go. So there's your like your foot infantry units. If you wanted to build these as whatever you would want to build them as, like Beast of Chaos is a version. If you want to do that, you could build yourself a sweet ass Cities of Sigmar army from it as well. And then, as you can see, they've got like all the different weapon options. Do you want to have like a bow and a blade? Do you want to have a spear? Do you want to have a shield? Like they've got all the options. Yeah, that looks great. Look at that. And again, just like really nice, like really dynamic designs. Like they've got the jumping off the rock Classic Games Workshop. They've got the big bow shooter. They've got like all the options there for the. And I think they should print modularly. Normally they have an image of it in a moment. Here we got a Centaur version. So if you want to take some cavalry, some sweet ass little designs there. I don't know what I would use those as either, but maybe some updated Centaurs would look cool. And there you go. Here's like a mage who's doing some casting, which I think is very, very cool. And again, he's got that kind of like woodland spirit. I guess you could do a Sylvaneth army out of this, right? You could do like, these are going to be my Kurnoth hunters, but they're big centaurs instead. That'd be cool. Hey man, this guy's great. And then look at whatever the fuck this thing is. It's like a bull, I guess, but he's made out of trees. I don't know what he is. Summoning all sorts of shit. Like, it's got a weird face. Not sure I like this. What does everyone think? There we go. It's like a great cat. Is it like a midsummer thing? It's creepy is what it is. We have to skip the next bit because they normally have a lewd. So there we got some very powerful Centaur lady right there, which I am all about. Look at that. Yeah. Super good. Uh-oh. Let's skip past the Centaur nudies. They always do a nudie one. I mean, what's wrong with that, man? There's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. Just, like, if you want to paint it, just paint it. Live your life. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't know why I'm embarrassed about showing that. Like, it should be. It's fucking weird that the hobby's full of people that, like, oh my god. Right, what you guys say in the chat? It's tastefully done. Thank you. Twisted wind charges. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's cool. You can do some twisted wind charges. That's fun. This is Centaur content I came for. Yes. Four-song Revenant. The four-song Revenant. MJ Pegasus is taking, obviously, the Warsong Revenant from... done. I'm printing it out. Printing it out. I'm 100% doing a Warsong Revenant. Oh my god, fine, yeah, let's do that. MJ, to you. I take a sip of water to you. Could do Sylvaneth corrupted by Beast of Chaos magic. Sylvaneth and Beast of Chaos are always at odds with each other. You could Colonel Cabbages, that would be good, really good. She's no Troggoth hag. She's no Troggoth hag, you're right. But she's still a babe. Let's put it that way, she's still a babe. Anyway, amazing. And there you can see all the different hand and weapon options. And like Dadrin said earlier, obviously you can just make it so that they alternate. So you can just mirror the image when you make your file. So what it is, it's like a design. You put it into what's called a slicer. It's not complicated at all. And you can just mirror the slice. So you can have them on either hand. And there's the whole range. So, I mean, ignoring the jokes, again, you could build yourself like a pretty potent army out of this, like with a bunch of different options and designs. And it's very scalable. Like, you know, this is what Titanforge and Artisan Guild do really well. They make it so that you could probably print yourself most of an army from this month's release, which I think is really good and actually ties in. They actually have, because it's a consistent art style. That's the right way of saying it. It's consistent art style. They actually have a bunch of stuff from Artisan Guild that you could probably go back and kind of retcon into this army as well, or kind of push into the army, which I think is really good. If they got they also obviously do all the bases, so that's normally in there. I don't know if they show that. They're going to show that. No, they're not going to show that, but they obviously do all the bases with it as well. So, yeah, a load of stuff there. What's everyone's thoughts about? I love doing this show. It's really fun. I think that's all of the designs I've seen out this month so far. So if I've missed any, apologies to the designers of those particular ones. I don't think I have. We're still waiting for possibly like the big deal designer, which is Archvillain. He normally does the kind of like wow sort of stuff, but all the other guys I think are doing some incredible work as well. They're all super creative, yeah. Yep, I really like most of these. Me too. Makes me shadow resin print instead of a filament ones involves in with the filament ones. Weirdly, I'm actually I'm more invested in my filament printers at the minute. Maybe it's because obviously I own a venue and I have to make terrain. Fair point. Understand where I'm talking from my own place. But the speed, this is what's phenomenal about the resin printers. The speed with which, you know, we've all got our hobby piles of shame, but the speed with which you can create yourself an army with a resin printer is mind-boggling. Like, it's overwhelming to the point where you're like, I don't have time to print out an army this week. Like, it's way quicker to print the army than it'll ever be to paint the army, right? So, like, it's like, but the filament printers, at least they're fucking slower, so it doesn't feel so overwhelming. I guess is kind of the real point. And they make big chunky pieces, right? And it looks awesome. And I like, maybe it's just a me thing at the moment, but I'm loving theming boards and creating boards that kind of like create a story. Like, I'm really into that, especially because I know people are going to be coming here to play, and I'm going to be going places to watch people play. I'm going to be really disappointed the first tournament I go and do coverage at, where it's very poor terrain. I'm going to be really disappointed, right? Hey, Rob, take a look at grimdarkterrain.com for Titanicus, but it can be scaled up. Okay, let's go have a look. I'd like to accept the cookies. And then how do I go and find the terrain? Heresy Train stuff. Agridomes. Oh no, where's portfolio? Is this the shop? There we go. Get me that shop. So this is Titanica stuff. Oh, there doesn't seem to be much in there though. Oh, STL downloads. Okay. Okay, this is pretty cool. This is some heresy stuff. I don't know if you guys can see this. One sec. Sorry, I've got to keep switching between. I can't see what anyone can see anymore. Thanks everyone for helping us get closer to a new PC goal. You're fucking phenomenal people, so super appreciated. And not long until I actually start making fucking content again, like YouTube content and all the other stuff. Like, finally, Super Series is done. Like, for now, like, the venue's almost set up. Like, I can start making content. So, expecting me to. I'm going to do a load of stuff on 3D printing as well as like Age of Sigmar on 40k. So, looking forward to that. So, this STL package. So, what did you get here for a train? What's this? What is it? What's this? Let's go find it. So €39 gets me. Oh, wow. So is this April? The April 2021 package? Olympus Mons tank? Oh, okay. Does this guy have a Patreon, Diadrin? Because this is all Titanica stuff. Is this resin stuff or not, or FDM? So I'm not 100% certain currently. I guess if you're doing it Titanica scale, then it's okay. I'm not sure I'm very confident right now in doing resin stuff for monthly package. There's a cool train though. Look at this little train. I always thought I don't want to be a model railway guy, but if it's a model railway in space, I got this. I was looking at Grimdark. I was looking at Grimdark last night. We've got growing group Titanic Space at the club, and we need to support them. Oh, nice. Okay, are you going to be getting some? He had a Patreon, but took it off and is hosted on his site now. Oh, okay. So you can only do it on the site now. Yeah, model railways, but with giant robots. That's what we're going to have. Fuck yeah. All right, well, I'll look at that later. If anyone has any good suggestions for Patreons or design sites like Daijun just got, and they'd like me to look at it next time we do this show, please do. Twitter's probably the best way to get at me. So just get at me there. Like, drop me a message or tweet me or any of those things and hit me up. Because I'd love to know. I'd love to know what people are working on and what they and what you guys want to like showcase. I think that's good. Sleepy Tiger, yeah, I'm on that. That's going to be one of the things I'm going to do. So he does have Patreon, I believe it's FDM. Yes, Pete. All right, perfect. Well, listen, it's been lovely talking to you all. Thanks very much today for hanging out. I'll be back again live. Tomorrow will be a late one. It'll be an 8 p.m. show tomorrow. Tomorrow and Sunday will be 8 p.m. shows because I've got the tournaments in the day. So I won't be able to do that. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. It's been super fun talking to you all. I hope you guys have a lovely day. I'll include the links to the show notes below for the YouTubers and all that other stuff. And thanks for hanging out. You guys are incredible. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you soon.